Not all conspiracy theories are fiction. Some, as history reveals, are chillingly true. In the corridors of power and secret labs, real plans have been made that defy public trust. These are not rumors, but documented events with devastating consequences. Today we uncover 10 major conspiracies once dismissed as fantasy, but later proven true through declassified documents and whistleblowers. We'll explore the mechanisms of deception, the motivations behind these operations, and their profound impact on society. Each story is a stark reminder. We must remain vigilant and question the narratives presented to us. Let's begin our journey into secrets never meant to see the light of day. The Cold War wasn't just a battle of armies, it was a battle for the mind. In this climate, the CIA launched Project MKUltra, a secret program to control and weaponize the human mind. The goal developed techniques for mind control and psychological torture using unsuspecting citizens as test subjects. High doses of LSD, hypnosis, sensory deprivation, and abuse were inflicted without consent. These experiments happened in trusted institutions, universities, hospitals, prisons across the US and Canada. The human cost was immense: trauma, mental illness, and even death. For 2 decades, MKUltra operated in total secrecy, hidden even from many within the CIA. Its existence was protected by national security, making it nearly impossible to expose. The truth emerged slowly in the 1970s, as the Church Committee began investigating intelligence abuses. Despite attempts to destroy all evidence, thousands of documents survived, revealing the program's horrifying scope. MKUltra was no longer a theory, it was a documented fact. The exposure forced a reckoning with unchecked government power and the ethics of science. It stands as a chilling reminder of how far institutions can go when shrouded in secrecy. The line between defense and abuse was obliterated. MKUltra's legacy, a warning about the dangers of secret experiments on the public. In the tense days of the early 1960s, the US military sought a way to justify war with Cuba. Their answer, Operation Northwoods, a plan for false flag attacks on Americans, blamed on Cuba, to spark public support for invasion. Proposals included sinking a US ship, staging terror attacks in US cities, and faking the shoot-down of a passenger plane. The plan was formally approved by the Joint Chiefs of Staff and presented to the Secretary of Defense. Civilian leaders, appalled, rejected it. President Kennedy shelved the proposal and removed its chief architect. For decades, the plan remained secret, buried in classified files. Only in the late 1990s did declassified documents reveal the shocking truth. The highest levels of the US military were willing to sacrifice American lives for political ends. Operation Northwoods is a stark example of how far leaders might go to manufacture consent for war. The plan's exposure shattered the illusion that such ideas were unthinkable. It forced a national reckoning with the ethics of statecraft. The conspiracy was real, and its implications remain chilling. It's a reminder, even the unthinkable can be true. The line between security and manipulation is perilously thin. Operation Northwoods stands as a warning from history. While the Cold War raged abroad, the FBI waged a secret war at home, COINTELPRO. Its mission: disrupt and destroy groups deemed subversive, from civil rights leaders to anti-war activists. Tactics included surveillance, forged documents, media manipulation, and infiltration. Informants and agents provocateurs encouraged illegal acts to discredit movements. The campaign against Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. was especially vicious, including blackmail attempts. For years, activists' claims of FBI targeting were dismissed as paranoia. The truth broke in 1971, when activists leaked stolen FBI documents to the press. Public outrage and congressional investigations exposed the full extent of COINTELPRO. The program revealed a law enforcement agency willing to sabotage legitimate political dissent. COINTELPRO's exposure forced reforms and a new era of government accountability. It's a dark chapter in American history, showing how easily power can be abused. The line between security and oppression was crossed. The program's legacy, a warning about unchecked surveillance and the fragility of civil rights. COINTELPRO is a reminder that democracy requires constant vigilance. The truth once hidden changed the nation's understanding of its own institutions. The war at home was real, and its scars remain. The Tuskegee syphilis study stands as one of the most shameful episodes in medical history. For 40 years, hundreds of black men in Alabama were studied without their knowledge or consent. Promised free health care, they were instead denied treatment, even after penicillin became the cure. Researchers conspired to keep them untreated, valuing data over human life. The men suffered and died, their families devastated, while the study continued in plain sight. The medical community largely looked away, and the government protected the experiment. The truth emerged in 1972, thanks to a whistleblower and a determined journalist. Public outrage ended the study and led to sweeping reforms in medical ethics. The Tuskegee study became a symbol of institutional racism and betrayal. Its legacy, deep mistrust in the healthcare system, and a call for accountability. The story is a stark warning about the dangers of unchecked authority in science. The cost was measured in lives lost and trust destroyed. Tuskegee's lesson: never again. In the digital age, whispers of mass surveillance became reality in 2013. Edward Snowden, a former NSA contractor, leaked documents revealing global surveillance programs. The NSA collected emails, chats, and data from millions, often without warrants, through programs like PRISM and Muscular. Tech giants' servers and internet cables were tapped, making privacy an illusion. Officials claimed it was for national security, but the scope was indiscriminate. Snowden's leaks sparked global debate about privacy, security, and government overreach. Legal challenges and reforms followed, but the infrastructure of surveillance remains. The revelations confirmed the fears of civil liberties advocates. The digital world became a domain of constant monitoring. The line between safety and freedom blurred. The conspiracy was real, and its impact endures. Snowden's actions forced a reckoning with the meaning of privacy. The age of mass surveillance is here, and we're all part of it. The Vietnam War's escalation hinged on the Gulf of Tonkin incident. In August 1964, U.S. destroyers reported attacks by North Vietnamese forces. The first skirmish was real. The second crucial attack was based on confusion and faulty intelligence. Despite doubts from commanders, officials in Washington seized on the reports to justify war. President Johnson presented a distorted version to the public and Congress. The Gulf of Tonkin resolution gave sweeping war powers, launching full-scale U.S. involvement. Years later, declassified documents revealed the second attack never happened. The war's foundation was built on manipulated intelligence and deception. The conspiracy wasn't a faked attack, but a deliberate distortion of the truth. The cost: a generation defined by conflict and loss. The lesson: truth is often the first casualty of war. The Gulf of Tonkin incident remains a cautionary tale about the power of official narratives. History demands we question what we're told. For decades, tobacco companies knew their products were deadly and addictive. Internal research confirmed the link to cancer and the power of nicotine. Instead of warning the public, they conspired to hide the truth. The industry launched a campaign to manufacture doubt, funding friendly scientists and misleading studies. Advertising glamorized smoking, while lobbying fought regulation. In 1994, tobacco executives denied nicotine's addictiveness before Congress, despite knowing otherwise. Whistleblowers and lawsuits in the 1990s exposed millions of pages of incriminating documents. The cover-up was undeniable. Profit was put above public health. The scandal forced new regulations and shattered public trust. The tobacco conspiracy is a lesson in corporate deception. It shows how far industry will go to protect its interests. The truth, once hidden in smoke, finally came to light. A free press is vital, but what if it's secretly working for the government? During the Cold War, the CIA ran Operation Mockingbird, recruiting journalists to spread propaganda. Hundreds of media figures, some unwitting, became intelligence assets. Stories were planted, disinformation spread, and public opinion shaped to fit CIA goals. The agency's influence extended worldwide, funding foreign outlets and publishing houses. For years, Mockingbird was dismissed as conspiracy theory. The Church Committee's 1975 investigation confirmed its existence. The revelations shocked the media and public, exposing a deep breach of trust. The program blurred the line between journalism and state power. Operation Mockingbird is a warning about the dangers of secret influence. The press must remain independent to hold power accountable. The truth, once hidden, changed how we view the media. The Iran-Contra affair revealed a secret government operating from the White House. Publicly, the Reagan administration opposed terrorism and banned funding for Nicaraguan Contras. Secretly, officials sold arms to Iran and funneled the profits to the Contras, violating U.S. law. The operation bypassed Congress, using secret bank accounts and international middlemen. The scandal broke in 1986, sparking investigations and televised hearings. Key figures shredded documents and covered up their actions. The affair exposed the dangers of unchecked executive power. President Reagan denied knowledge, but the culture of secrecy was undeniable. Iran-Contra forced a national debate on government accountability. The conspiracy was real. A shadow government ran its own agenda. The scandal's legacy, a warning about the fragility of democratic oversight. The truth emerged, but the damage to trust was lasting. Iran-Contra remains a case study in power run amok. In the atomic age, scientists raced to study the effects of nuclear fallout. Project Sunshine was born, a secret program to collect human remains, especially from children, without consent. Government agents harvested bones and tissue worldwide, often deceiving grieving families. Over 1,500 samples were taken, shipped across continents for analysis. The ethical lines were obliterated. The dead became data points. The program's secrecy was total. Families never knew their loved ones were desecrated. The justification urgent scientific need outweighed consent. The truth emerged in the 1990s, shocking the public and sparking outrage. Project Sunshine revealed the cold calculus of national security science. The program's exposure forced a reckoning with research ethics. It's a grim reminder of the costs of secrecy and unchecked authority. The legacy, a call for respect, consent, and transparency in science. Even in the name of progress, humanity must not be forgotten. We've uncovered conspiracies that shaped our world. Proven, not imagined. These stories show how power, unchecked and secretive, can corrupt institutions of trust. They remind us to question, to seek truth, and to demand accountability. The line between vigilance and paranoia is thin, but history proves skepticism is essential. The echoes of MKUltra, COINTELPRO, and others warn us. The official story is not always the whole story. What secrets remain hidden? Only time will tell. Subscribe for more untold stories from history.